Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. As many of you know, I was a guest on the Sunday Builds podcast yesterday, and it was live for 3 hours. We did a group build, so there was a 3-hour group build going on, and it was a blast talking to the guys while we were going along. Well, when the clock started, I got my masking done, got the painting done, got it in the dehydrator, and then I started doing the little details, the top of the stacks and the exhaust tips and the valve cover, just little things while the paint was drying. And at the end of the 3 hours, many of the guys did get their projects done. Some were a little short, and I sadly was one of those. While the kit was finished, I didn't get the decals done, so I fell a little short there. But right after the podcast ended, I went ahead and spent the next 35 minutes doing the decals. So I did get it finished. So mine was like 3 hours 3.35. So I did get it done. But I want to share that with you, and I want to do a little bit of a kit review on this particular kit I used. And again, I want to give a shout out to all the guys that were on the podcast. Sunday Builds, be sure you go over, check them out every Sunday. You can go to Blue Ox, Jason over there, or Mike at Scale Model Outlaw on their channels, and you can check that out too. But yeah, sorry I fell a little short, but if I had that little bit extra time to get the decals done, but you know, when you're waiting for paint to dry, you don't want to get in too big of a rush. But I want to share the kit with you now that it's finished, and we'll have a good time, so let's get to it. Bring your model to life with MCV products. Visit them on the World Wide Web at mcvproducts.com. Okay guys, before I show you the finished model, I want to do a little kit review on this thing. First of all, I really enjoyed this build, and I was super surprised that I got the model itself finished, painted and finished in 3 hours. I just wish I could have got the decals on there in time. But I want to review the kit with you because this is fun. This is not something I would have normally picked up, but for that kit review, or excuse me, for that 3-hour build, I thought that would be an awesome little kit to do. It's 61 parts, and it is the AMT 125th scale custom Volkswagen van with Coca-Cola licensing on it. And I fell in love with this little flame job. Now, normally I'm not real big on flames on vehicles, some vehicles, but I really like that. And the other version you can do, and the decals are for most of. In fact, I mentioned when I was looking at the decal sheet during the podcast, I thought there were more decals than there were parts for the car. But it was kind of fun. But I really like this the more I look at it. And this, I think I could have got this one done if it would have been one color with the racing stripe and the Coca-Cola. I think I could have gotten that done. But this thing had some decent parts count. Like I said, 61 parts that I counted anyway. You've got the zoomy headers, the tall stacks, Hemi engine, parachute, which I did not use, the total chrome chassis, and I'll show you that. This radio antenna I did not use, and I'm going to show you why. I did redo, well, I kind of sanded the VW emblem and then just shot it with white, because being a red and white vehicle, I wanted that in white. Besides that, guys, the chrome on this part, it was almost like there were sand scratches under the chrome. I mean, it really didn't look that great. Really nice little tires, fuel tank, a lot of little stuff like that, but there were a few extras in there that I didn't know were going to be in it. As soon as the horn blew, so to speak, I started masking and painting, getting stuff in the dehydrator, as I said. As you can see here, it's a really simplified kit, but a lot of fun. There's that chassis attached to the plate. I shot the chassis, battery, a lot of those components, radiator, all that in semi-gloss black. I used Tamiya because it's fast drying, and then the dehydrator would speed that up even more. The only thing that I did not use Tamiya on was the red on the body, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. But as you can see, there's not much to it. I did do a little something with the seats, and I'll show you that here in a minute. And the body, and then you just pop everything on there, and you're done. First thing I wanted to do was take the flames, and I grabbed a couple of spray cans, Tamiya testers, all that stuff, to see if I could match them up to get a dead match or as close as possible to the flame decals. And it turned out the closest one was Testors 1203 red, and that was almost an absolute. Actually, on the car, it looks like it's a dead match. And of course, this is just the plain plastic, the white plastic, because everything's molded in white. But as you'll see, that 1203 red was a pretty dead match. Had that decanted and had some hardener and leveling thinner in it, so it would cure faster. So we got that done and got it in the dehydrator first, then shot that chassis and the engine, all that kind of stuff, and then got that in there. This is those radio antennas I was talking about. It doesn't show in the instruction sheet where to put them. It just says antenna. Like a whip antenna would be pulled over. Number one, they're not in the right scale. Of course, this is a caricature car. I understand that. The other thing I chose not to do are the wheelie bars. These things looked terrible. I got them on there to take a look, and they just looked so unreal and so, well, the vehicle's kind of unreal, but it really took away from the vehicle to me, so I chose not to put those on there. And like I said, the parachutes. One of the things I did like is, in addition to the clear parts, windshield and all that kind of stuff here, there's the clear and the headlight covers. They also came with red tinted windows. And being a Coca-Cola man, I used the red tinted windshield and back window, and I'll show that to you when we get over there. And there was a few parts in there that I chose not to use because I don't know what they were for, and they weren't on the instruction sheet, but they were in the box. So I got to go back and put my radiator in. I knocked it out when I was putting that in, but it'll be easy. It's an easy fix. I think that's about it on all the parts. As I said, what I did right up front was mask and paint and get it in the dehydrator. Then I took my Tamiya flat black and did the tips of the Zoomy headers and the stacks, and went ahead and put some of the sub-assemblies like the intake and the stacks on that, started getting things together. And once I got all of that done, it was pretty easy to assemble. It was just a matter of waiting for that paint to dry. But I think it did really well overall. I do like this, and being a Diet Coke fanatic, I'm wondering if I can get maybe Terry and Patrice to do me some Diet Coke decals and do it in a red and silver. But it's something for down the road to think about anyway. But guys, honestly, this was a fun kit. And I enjoyed it, and to do it in 3 hours, I took another 35 minutes to do the decals, and a lot of that time I just waited for the decals, setting solutions and stuff to set, and then I just left it overnight and to cure before I assembled it this morning. And all that was snap the body on the chassis and boom, you're done. But let me reset the camera and we'll take a look at it. And here is our VW Coca-Cola livery show car. I tell you guys, I did have a blast with this. Can't believe 3.5 hours I was able to achieve this, but it was a blast. Love the red tinted windows. I do think it looks better without those wheelie bars. And the zoomies, which are very difficult to see there, they come out between the wheels. And I invited my buddy Clay over to take a look at it too and give me his thoughts there, so that's why he's on there. There's that white where I changed the VW on the front. Yeah, fun little addition to the bench. And the top lifts off, so that made it a little easier in some ways. and a little difficult when it came to the decals as far as cutting and getting them in the right place. But really, guys, it wasn't that difficult at all. I only used a few of the decals. There were license plates and other things, and I did put the Coca-Cola license plate on the back. And I'll put some stills up here too. The headrests, there's the use of some of the decals there, and the instrument panel, all that kind of stuff. It did look kind of cool. And yeah, there's the license plate and a couple of the little things. I did use a Sharpie, red Sharpie on for the lenses in the back, and I used the Fusion Firm on a toothpick to do the turn signals on the front, and then went back with some Tamiya amber over the top of those. And I used the red headlight lens covers. I was going to use the clear on that because they really are a crisp looking headlight underneath that chrome. And Amanda was looking at it and she said, no, use the red, it's a show car. So I thought, you know what, I may do that, and I'm glad I did. Let's get this off and I'll let you see. Take that top off and you can see down to the engine. There's the fuel tank, and you notice the Coca-Cola decal on the cap of the fuel tank. Hopefully you'll be able to see well, I'm in my own light there. But those headrests again with the Coca-Cola on the top. And those seats were just molded in white, and all I did was just throw a piece of masking tape around the top and then just shot the rest of it red. Oh, well, and the console. And hopefully you can see those instruments down there. I'll have a still right here too. But I think this turned out pretty well. And like I said, for a shelf model, I'm probably going to affix the roof on it since it's just going to be a shelf model. And yeah, there you get a look at the... And of course, being a 3-hour build, there wasn't a lot of stuff that you typically might want to do. You didn't, but I'll be honest with you, I'm very, very pleased with this. And Clay seems to agree. He's got 2 thumbs outside of his pocket up, so I'm thinking that's a good sign. But yeah. If you want something you can knock out that's just a cool little build for your bench, I recommend this. I really thought I was going to be able to squeeze something like this out in the 3 hours. And I was close, like I said, but I did fall short. But I'm going to do better next time. If I'd have gone with a one color, I think I could have pulled it off. But I'm glad I went ahead and did it this way, too. And the paint match, I was really pleased with, because when I got up this morning, I let all those decals set, and when I started taking a look at it, I just thought, wow, that actually matched up really good. Testers number 1203. And like I said, those enamels usually take a longer to dry, a lot longer. But in 3 hours in the dehydrator, about 2 hours and 40 minutes in the dehydrator, because I threw the mask on it. It was a real easy mask, and just shot that straight on. Really looks good. But that is it, guys. Again, just a fun little build. And for the 3-hour build, when they do that again next year, or whenever they do it again, head over to Sunday Builds and check them out. Check it out, because usually it's just, I've been a guest on there, as I said, once before, and we just sat around and just worked on models while we talked and shared and laughed. And but this was really a ton of fun to try to rush and get it done. Like I said, not everybody did, but pretty much everybody did. It was a lot of fun, and I know there were people that were just kind of watching and building at the same time too. Well, okay, guys, that is it for this one. Hope y'all have an absolutely awesome week. And one more look there. I'm trying to stay out of my own light here. I really like the finish the way it turned out too. But a cool little show rod. God bless, guys. Hope y'all have, again, an awesome and blessed week. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.